Hello everyone! And today we're back into another top 5. And today we're talking about the top 5 most improved Loomians throughout the entire Halloween event. This will count all of the new moves added from Part 1 and Part 2, and even the buffs and nerfs of certain Loomians. So, yeah. With that out of the way, let's head right onto this list. But before we do that, we are giving away a Halloween Ikazune. So yeah, you know how this year there are Halloween Cephalopses? Well, I'm giving away a Halloween Ikazune. And if you want to win this Halloween Ikazune, if you say Halloween Ikazune in the comments below, I will give y'all a number. And then within a couple days, I'm going to spin a random number generator wheel. And if your number is picked, you will win this yellow Halloween Ikazune. It even is pure nimble, so you can actually use this for PvP if you really want to. So, yeah, let's head right into this list right now. So, number 5 on this list is actually going to be very odd because it's going to be Baneki. Baneki was a very bad Loomian before it got Boom Bash. Boom Bash is the new move it got. And my gosh, it can hit bug types now for super effective damage. And it can hit plant types for neutral damage. Awesome. It even has the chance to daze, which definitely adds up in the battle over time. But Baneki has been a lot easier to use now because of Boom Bash. Mainly because of its setup of Magnify and also making it able to actually hit a lot of other Loomians now. Makes Baneki actually really solid. It's not amazing, but it's actually somewhat good now. It's easier to get the Magnify off, and it's easier to actually hit certain Loomians. The only reason it is at the bottom of the list because it's a Baneki. It needs the Magnify in order to destroy everyone. It's like Vocaloa. I mean, this is pretty much a carbon copy of Vocaloa. Both have great coverage, but both needs a Magnify / Brawn boost in order to do Mega's amount of damage. But Boom Bash definitely adds a lot to Baneki and actually makes it a pretty solid used Loomian now. And I could even consider this as one of the better revenge killers in the game. And probably one of the best late game cleaners as well. Baneki is actually really good now. But yeah, Baneki's number 5. Number 4 to this list is actually going to be Deludrix with Zip Zap. Yes, Deludrix has Pivot now. Oh my, and this is not the only Pivot Loomian it is on this list. Because the Halloween Part 2 added so many pivot options for Loomians. But Zip Zap Deludrix is really good, especially for a Boots Deludrix. For a Boots Deludrix, Zip Zap is amazing because it can do mega damage while also pivoting out, while also hitting all those metal types. But if you don't run Boots Deludrix, you're not going to get the utilizability from Zip Zap as much because Boots gets you stuck into moves. So having the pivot option is necessary in order to make a swap out. But if you use normal Deludrix and use Zip Zap, for a Loomian that already came in, it's not the greatest. It's definitely very scary, especially for a Boots Deludrix. But for a regular Deludrix that uses very nimble and power cuffs, I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend the Thunder Strike for the extra damage. But despite that, it gives Deludrix another option, especially for pivot. It just improves the pivot meta that we have right now. The Halloween update just added a brand new meta called Pivot. Pivot the heck out of your opponents. And that's why Deludrix is in the top 5. It's definitely extremely scary. Number 3 onto this list is actually going to be Zulong. Now, it is questionable if Zulong or Deludrix is better, because Zulong actually hits harder, but it has less coverage. So it is questionable if Zulong is better or not. But as a Zip Zap user, Zulong is better than Deludrix because of the ability. It has an ability that increases its damage, meaning that Zip Zap can actually do really good damage. In this case, it actually one-shots a Cannibal, which is really nice. When Deludrix would not be able to one-shot most things to hit super effectively, Zulong is able to pretty much do it. And now it has another pivot option besides Ancient Roar, which is amazing. Something that I do gotta... There is a massive disclaimer that Gargolem is a nightmare. Zulong definitely doesn't want to deal with Gargolems at all, but despite that, it's a pretty good pivot option. Zip Zap definitely adds a lot for Zulong, but it's only number 3 because, you know, it's a Zulong. It still needs extra coverage to hit metal types. It does struggle at that at the moment, and that's why this is number 3 on the list and not higher. But despite that, having pivot option on Zulong makes it one of the scariest Loomians in the game again. But I do think Boots Ikazune is a little better because you have one, Light Flash and Flee, and also Fire Breath, which helps out a lot. Number 2 onto this list will be the last of the pivot moves I'll be talking about. It's Dusket. And my gosh, Melee Dusket went up so much with its addition to Fade Away. Fade Away Dusket has been the most impressive Loomian in my eyes because of how much it improved with Fade Away. Now, you have the option to pivot out with Dusket. And it actually makes Melee Dusket actually really good. You can run a defensive Dusket, you can run a heavily attacking Dusket, you can run one of 2 options. But Fade Away on Dusket completely changes the game and actually makes Melee Dusket quite viable. It's a very good Loomian because of Fade Away, because a lot of people expect it to be the range attack variant. But now, you have Fade Away, so you can hit those range tanks pretty hard. And if you have a great matchup, you just attack it with your high powerful moves, Cerebral Slash and Outburst. Fade Away is an amazing move for Dusket. And since it has priority, it could drop Phantom Slash and run Fade Away, because Fade Away does the same amount of damage as Phantom Slash. Dusket is amazing with pivot, and it's probably been one of the best pivot users right now, honestly. I know you guys may be shocked that Dusket is this high on the list, but I've used Fade Away Dusket so much, and it's played so well for me. It's been one of the biggest surprises of all time. Fade Away Dusket definitely is a Loomian that has improved from the Halloween update, and it's definitely one of the best pivot users in the entire game. It's one of the best Loomians in that department. Honorable mentions. Some of the honorable mentions I will talk about is Joltooth getting Clay Slap. The reason why Joltooth getting Clay Slap isn't on the list is 1, Clay Slap only does like 60 damage, and 2, I didn't really try it yet. I didn't really try Clay Slap Joltooth yet, so I don't have a fair representation on Joltooth getting Clay Slap. But now, Joltooth can hit Tyrex and other electric types. It makes it an honorable mention and actually really solid to use. Another honorable mention is actually going to be Ikazune, and while Ikazune didn't get any new moves, it got a 20 speed buff, making Ikazune actually a lot better with boots, or a lot better as a Magnify user, meaning that you can run very smart, or you can run nimble with setup, which makes Ikazune just a lot better and a lot more threatening. That speed boost is definitely really good for Ikazune. Those are the honorable mentions, but the best Halloween event Loomian that got improved is Garbantus, and it's not even close. This is the only Loomian in the game that has Battering Ram and Body Crash, meaning that you can nullify your attack completely and just run melee defense. Not only that you get bulky on the melee side, you also get your attack from that. It's 2 for 1, meaning that you don't have to waste your traits and TPs on other stuff. You can just focus on the defense, and you get so bulky and so powerful, and you hit so hard. It also has Poison. It also has Trash Armor, which increases the damage of Battering Ram and Body Crash. And Garbantus has improved so much because of Body Crash. It replaces the move that Earthquake hits. The only things that Earthquake can hit better is fire types like Ikazune and Hunder, but even then, Hunder can get hit super effectively. Fire types like Eruptodon and Ikazune might be a nightmare. Could be reasons why you still have Earthquake, but even then, Body Crash is so good. You can hit the ice types that you're quad weak to now. And since this thing pretty much outspeeds any ice type in the game, it makes Garbantus one of the scariest Loomians in the entire game yet again. And that's why Garbantus is the most improved Loomian from the Halloween event. So yeah, here it is, Garbantus, the most improved Loomian from the Halloween event. And it's not even close. Body Crash Garbantus has been a dream, and it's absolutely overpowered because of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me talking about the most improved Loomians from the Halloween update. If there are some other Loomians that have been improved that I didn't talk about, tell me in the comments below, and I'll see y'all all later. Bye-bye!